Hello, COMP100 scholars. This is Professor K here, and I'm going to be going through the week 6 project for this class using a Mac computer. Some of the instructions might be slightly different, but about 95 to 97% of all of the instructions should be the same. I don't have access to the actual class, so Dr. Whitcamp has given me the instructions and the file, so I'm going to walk through it and show you. So basically, you would click on your start file, you're going to download it. It's going to download to your downloads folder, and you do not want to work with it there. I'm going to show you what I have set up, and you should have something similar. So I have on my OneDrive for DeVry University, which just reach out to tech support and they'll help you get that set up. But I have a folder that I say called my classes taught, which yours could be classes taken. And then inside there, I have each of the terms. So this is our current term, January 2026, COMP100 class, and here we are in week 6, okay? So I don't want to work with the file and downloads because it can get confusing and you can wind up getting in trouble and burning some of your attempts. So basically, take your download file and move it into the correct location in your filing structure, week 6 for COMP100 for this term. And then you open it from there, and then you're going to work with it from there, okay? So I've opened up the file. This is the file. I'm going to try to make it a little bit larger so that you can see it. Let me pull it down. I want to try to show you the instructions on the same screen. Okay. So it's going to go over these skills. We're going to create, size, and position a pie chart object. We're going to apply a chart style. We're going to explode a pie slice, delete the legend from the chart. We're going to reposition data labels in a chart, create a clustered bar chart object, format data labels and the data series. We're going to add some alternate text to the chart, and we're going to insert and format spark lines in a worksheet. Okay. Now, it does give you information that depending upon the version of Microsoft Office that you're using, you may need to or want to use an alternate command. Just follow these through and step by step. If you run into any problems with the commands, again, tech support is there to assist with that. Also, if you did not know this, but you do have access to the DeVry desktop, which is a cloud-based computing system, virtual machine that you can run. The challenge is that you're going to be running it from your Mac. You have to remember that you're no longer using Mac commands. Once you fire off the DeVry desktop, you're going to be using PC commands. So it's going to be confusing. Ideally, if you can use your Mac, you're better off. So we're gonna go with that as that's what we're doing right now. I've opened up the file. There is no banner here that says anything about having to click to enable editing. Because my system, I've whitelisted DeVry University URLs and SIMnet URLs. So wherever the file's coming from, my computer accepts it and doesn't require me to click anywhere up here to say enable editing. You may get that, and if you're clicking down in your spreadsheet and you do not get any actions to take place, just check up here and see if you have the banner that says this is in read only, you must enable editing. All right, so we're going to start with step 2, create a pie chart object. So it says select the revenue by department sheet. So we have 2 sheets, first period and revenue by department. Here's our revenue by department sheet. And it wants us to select cells A4 to F4, A4 to F4. And then it wants us to select A13 to F13. So here's A13, and it wants us to hold the command key, and A13 to F13. So basically, whoops, we're using the header and golf. That's our A13. Okay. Now we want to click the pie chart button, which is on the Insert tab. And I can click here and we get recommended. Here's a pie chart. So we can click here. And we want to choose 3D pie. So let's actually come over here. Here's our pie charts, and we want a 3D pie chart. Okay, and there it's showing our golf data represented in a pie chart because we selected our golf data and we selected these headers. So the headers are down here showing us the categories, basically the cities, and then we have the dollar amount for each city. We want to apply a chart style. Okay, so we want to select the chart, the chart object, and it says click the More button. So we got chart design here. So the fact that we've clicked, if you see if I click off of here, chart design is gone. If I click here, you get both chart design and format. So by selecting and setting focus on the chart, we now have the ability to manipulate the chart design and to format it. And it wants us to select style 3. So this is style 3. Now, this is one of the differences between a Mac and a PC. Sometimes, and they're not consistent, sometimes on each one of those, Windows and a Mac computer, you will get the hints. You will get the actual indication. Here it says style 1, style 2, style 3. Sometimes you don't. But here we're getting style 3 and wants us to select style 3. So that just changed that and set this up as style 3. Now it says we want to, for step 4, we want to size and position a chart object. So we want to point to the chart object border to display the move pointer. That's the move pointer. This is a resize, right? I can resize it up and down. I can resize it by pulling the right side, pulling the left side, moving the middle. But if I click where I have all 4 arrows, that's my move button, okay? And we want to drag the chart object so its top left corner is at cell H4. H4. So basically we want to put it like right there. Now, with all of these indicators highlighted, you can use your arrow keys and see how I'm slightly positioning it up and down, right and left to get it as close to that position as I want to be. So we're going to leave it there. Point to the bottom. Point to the bottom right selection handle to display the resize arrow. Drag the pointer to reach cell Q19. So we're going to come down here. We know here is 19, and we want to come over here to Q. So this is changing the actual size of the chart. The first thing we did was to reposition the chart. So we're gonna put it approximately there. That's going to give us from H4 to Q19. Now we want to explode a pie slice. So it says double click the pie to open its format data series task pane. I tell you what I'm going to need to do because it's going to want to open up another series over here. I'm going to move this off so it'll be down here, and I'll be able to look at it from down here, and then I'll be able to basically enlarge this all the way. Okay. So now it says, I'm going to point to the pie. Oops. So I want to, we dragged it. Okay, drag to explode the pie slice, double click the pie to open its format data series task pane. So we're going to double click the pie, and there's our format data series. Okay, and it says click the San Diego slice, and San Diego is the purple. And when we highlight over it, it tells us that we're in the series Golf and the point is San Diego. So we're going to click on that. Okay, and it does say that rest the pointer on the slice to see its identifying screen tip or refer to the legend. Click the series option. Here's the series option. Okay. 10%. Point explosion, we want 10%. And you can see what's happening. It's actually separating it out and exploding the pie chart or that portion of the pie chart out. And there's our 10%. And it says close the task pane and click the chart object border to deselect the San Diego slice. So I'm going to close this and then the chart border. Okay, and I'm no longer selected just that slice. Okay. Now it says display and format data labels. So I want to click the add chart element button. Here's our add chart element button. And point to data labels. There's our data labels. And it says that we want to choose more data labels option. Here's our more data labels option. Okay, and it brings up our format data labels. Verify that the label options group is selected. Here's our label options group. Okay, this is our label options. It's selected. Select the category name box. So we're looking for category name box. So I've selected that. Confirm that the percentage and the show leader lines boxes are selected. Percentage and show leader lines options are selected. Okay. And then it says click the separator drop-down list. Separator. Okay. So we have our separator. And choose space. So we want this to be space. Okay. And then click the fill and line button. Let's see. Sorry. Fill and line button. Expand the fill group. And you notice when I hovered over this, it actually told us that this was the fill and line button. And I expanded the fill group and select no fill. Okay. Choose the task pane. And it says choose the task pane and then delete the legend and recolor. And step 7 is going to be to it says here delete the legend and recolor and position data labels. Okay, let me come over here. And I read that incorrectly. It says close, not choose. Close the task pane. So this is our task pane. I'm closing that. And then it says In step 7, we're going to delete the legend and recolor and position data labels. So we're going to select the legend. Here's the legend. I've now selected it. You can see how all of my position pointers and my size and resize pointers are enabled. Confirm your selection in the chart elements drop-down list. Chart element drop-down list. Let me see. Oops. Format tab, and it says current selection. Current selection group. And we want to delete to remove the legend. Okay, so here's our legend. Okay, and we want to delete and remove the legend. You see. Okay, so it wants us to make sure that we've selected a legend. We've selected a legend, and now we want to go back to our chart elements. So it's chart design elements, legend, right? And we want no legend. Let me make sure that's correct. Delete to remove the legend. We're just going to uncheck this, and that's going to remove the legend. Okay. Click the chart elements drop-down list and select golf data labels. Data labels. Okay. Okay. So when we did this, as soon as I selected our data labels, you can see how all of them on the screen have been selected. So whatever we're gonna do to these labels, it's gonna do to all of them. Click the text fill button. So we're gonna come over here. So we get all of this, and we want our text fill option. Here's our label options, and here's our text options. So we want our text fill, and choose black text 1. Color, black text 1. And you see how it changed the labels to all black text 1. Okay, and click the fill text 1. Click as many times as needed to select only the San Diego label. So we're going to click here, and I clicked it once, and I'm only selecting the San Diego label. Point to display a move pointer and drag the label as shown in figure 3-81. So we're going to drag it to where San Diego, here's our, we're going to drag it out here, and it's somewhere like right in there. Whoops. And there's our San Diego label. And then it says, select each data label and position it as shown in the figure. If it accidentally move another label, again, Command Z will undo it. So we're just going to do one at a time. And let's see, St. Louis, it wants it up top. So we're going to click on that. We're going to move it. And you don't have to be exact. And you can see how when you move the label outside, you see how it has the little line pointing to what section it is referring to. So now we're going to click on just Chicago. We just want to move that. We're going to highlight this and bring this down somewhere right in there. And then Boston. And we're going to make sure that we've got our move pointer, and we want it somewhere in there. And then Atlanta somewhere up in here. Okay. And then it says click on any worksheet cell. So that's going to remove focus on your chart. You remove both of these for chart design and format. Okay. And now we're ready to move on to step number 8. So step number 8 says create a clustered bar chart object to simulate a funnel chart. So we want to select A22 to B26. A22 to B26. So we're just going to select this data. So we're going to get these cities and this transactional data. Okay. We're going to click the Insert tab and click the Recommended Charts button. So here's our Insert, and there's our Recommended Charts. And scroll down to click the Clustered Bar option. And there's Clustered Column. There's our Clustered Bar. Okay, so it's going to put it and populate it in the middle. Okay. Okay, and size and position. So we're going to, let me just make sure I didn't skip a step. Clustered bar option. Yep, we selected clustered bar. Okay, now we're going to move this. So we're going to point to the chart object border. We have actually focus set on it, so we're there. You just want to make sure you've got all of these indicators around it. That means that when you go to move, you're going to move the entire thing. It says drag the bar chart object so its top left corner is at C21. So we're just going to take this whole thing over here and we're going to go right over here to C21. Let's go something like that. And then it says point the bottom right selector handle to display the resize arrow and drag it to L40. So again, if I click on this and I come over here and you see how now it's on my resize, and I want to drag this to L40. There's 40 and there's L. So we're just going to go, and you do not have to be exact, but there we go. Okay. And now we're going to apply a chart style. So we're going to confirm that the bar chart object is selected. Again, if I'm sitting over here, then I do not have my options to work with the design or format. But the minute I select this, you can see how I have my chart design and format. And it wants us to confirm, we want to do style 3. And once again, there's our style 3. We don't have to hit the down arrow because we've got 1, 2, and style 3. So we're good to go. Click on that, and now we have our style 3. And let me make sure I just didn't do something crazy. And chart design, style 3. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to format the data labels again, and we're going to edit the chart title. So we're going to select one of the data labels in any bar. So these are our data labels in the bar. Okay. So we selected any one. And change the size to 16. So if we come back here to home, okay, so we can also do it over here, text, and we've got our, let's see. Actually, I lied. We're going to need to do it over here. So let's go to home and see here we have our font of 9, and it says we want to do font of 16. Now, because all 5 of these are selected, whatever we change is going to change for all 5. So if I click the down arrow and I come down here to 16, you're going to see that it increased the font to 16. Okay. And then it says select the chart title box. Now, single click gets it on there. Now, let's read ahead. Triple click to select all the placeholder text. You can also click and drag or click once and press Command A. So again, the same functionality you have in any application. If I triple click, I've got everything selected. If I click once on the far left, I can drag it to the far right, or I can click anywhere in here and do a Command A, and it will select all the text. Basically, we want to select all the text because we're changing all the text. And it says to enter in total sales by city. Now, just pay attention to the specific typing, which I have a typo in here. That should be a lowercase a. Your case, uppercase on the beginning of the word, lowercase on the beginning of the word, spacing, and just make sure it follows exactly what you have in your instructions. More than likely, SimNet is going to highlight everything in red, and you'll notice in the instructions the period is not highlighted in red, so you're not to put a period in here. Okay, and it says remove the horizontal axis, reverse the category order, and apply a special effect. This is now step 12. So we're going to click the chart elements drop down list. Remember, that's back up here. So if we click on our chart, okay, and we want to come over here to chart design, and we click on our elements. Let me make sure I'm getting to the right. We want to and select the horizontal value axis. So here's our axis lines. Oh, sorry, there it is. Our horizontal value axis. Okay. And we want to remove the horizontal. Let's see, click the chart elements drop-down list, format tab, current selection, and select the horizontal value axis. So it's telling us to click the chart elements drop-down list, which we did. And then it's saying select the horizontal axis. So this is our titles. So let's come over here to more access options. And we want to select the values along the bottom of the plot area, which it has. See all the values along the plot area. We want to remove the values. So with that selected, okay, if let me see what it's saying here, press delete, and they're gone. So all of the values on the bottom were deleted because I selected it up here and deleted them. Okay, now it says click the chart elements drop-down list again and select series 1. Let me see. And it's saying click the chart elements drop-down list and select series 1. So, and I just want to make sure I'm in the right. Check the chart. Okay. So it's saying click the chart elements drop-down list, format tab, current selection group, and select the horizontal, which we did, press delete, which we did, click the chart elements drop-down list, and select series 1. Where that's going to be is we want to make sure that we've selected one of the bars in our chart. We come up here to format, and then here it's series 1. We want to make sure that it is at series 1. Okay, so that's going to take it. Now we want to click the shape effects button. Here's our shape effects. And for shape effects, we want to point to shadow and choose offset bottom right. Shadow, outer group, offset bottom right. See how it says offset bottom right? So we want to go in the outer group, offset bottom right. Then we want to click the chart elements drop down and select the vertical axis. So now we're back over to chart design, still focus on this chart, drop down our axis, and we want vertical, we want more options. Okay, and it says select the city names. So we want to select the city names. Click the Format pane button to open the Format Access. Click the Access Options button in the Access Options group. There's our Access Options. Okay. And we want to click the Access Options button. Categories in reverse order. Access Option buttons, Access Options, categories in reverse order. Okay, so now it's got Boston, San Diego, Atlanta, Chicago, and St. Louis. Okay. Okay, so now we want to put additional information or alternate text to the chart for increased accessibility. So right-click the border of the bar chart and select all text. You may have to right-click the border of the bar chart and select View All Text. So if we right-click, just see, the border of the bar chart, View Alt Text, okay, and it says click the entry box to place the insertion point. So here's our entry box. So we're inserting this, okay, and it says type. Well, I tell you what, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. This is a PDF, so I'm going to have to type it. You probably could just copy and highlight it and copy and paste, but this is a bar chart which displays totals in descending order. You can select an individual data point to apply a fill color, including the period. Only include one space between the sentences, which I didn't do. And there you go. It really helps to read. And then close, and then select cell A1. So if we're going to close this, and then we're going to select cell A1. Okay. Now it says insert spark lines in a worksheet. Click the first period. Select cells B19 to E19, B19 to E19. That's our data range. Sorry. B19 to E19. Yep. Click the Insert Spark Lines button. And let's see. So let me show you something. So it's might not be clear. I'm going to come over here to Insert and see if we can find the spark lines. Oh, there they are. Insert spark lines. So I click the Insert and spark lines. You could also come over here and click Help. And when you click Help, you can type in spark lines and it will point you to where this is. So it says, and the line button. Okay, and we've got our data selected. Select cells I. This is where we want to place the spark lines. Select cells I. Select cell I-19 in the select where to place. So we can click, we have to move, well, we can click I-19, it's right here. And you notice it's putting it in absolute reference. And click OK. And let's see what happens. And there you go. So here are our spark lines. It's showing us basically the trend of these 4 cells, showing that it started at the value here, and then from here it rose up drastically and then dropped back down and stayed consistent. It's a visual representation of the data that we highlighted here. We want to format these spark lines, so click the Format button in the Home tab. Here's our Format button. And we want to change the row height to 35. Row height, 35. Let's click OK. And then the column width to 40. Column width to 40. Select the markers box in the show group in the Sparkline tab. So we're back to our spark lines, and it says, sorry, in the spark light. So it's there should be a show group. Select the markers box in the show group in the Sparkline tab. Okay, so again, it's the select the markers box in the show group in the Sparkline tab. Well, the Sparkline tab, this tab is only going to be available if, kind of like the chart, if you select the Sparkline. So selecting the Sparkline shows us the Sparkline tab. We select on there, and there we have our markers. So there it's showing you now that here's our starting point, our first one. Our second one is here, our third one is there, and our fourth one is there, giving you more visual representation of the data that's included in your data set. Now click the More button. Let's go back to here. That's here. We want to, it says, choose brown, sparkline style accent 6, darker 50%. Okay, so no dark or light. Here we go. Sparkline style accent 6. And that was just a guess on my part. Sparkline style accent 6, darker 50%. First row, second to the last column. Apply an outside border to cell I-19. Okay, so we've got our cell selected. We want home, and we want an outside border. Okay. Click the row 4 heading and set the row height to 35. Okay, and we want to change the height. So here's our row height. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is we can click on this right here and change our row height this way. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I got an error. I've got to recover my workbook. Hold on a second. So I got an error from Microsoft. It reported an error. I clicked OK. It reopened it. I then reopened my workbook, and I'm right back to where I was. Okay, so apply outside borders to I-19. Click the row. Change the height to 35. Again, so, and it says to row 4. Here's row 4. And I can come up here, and I can change my height to 35. Click OK. Click cell A1. And now it wants us to set the page orientation to landscape. Okay, and the way we do that is page layout, and we want to change the orientation to landscape, so that when we view this, it's going to give us all of this information. If it was portrait, it would only give us a portion of it. And that is it. Save the file, and then upload it, and you'll get your grading responses. If there's any errors with the grading, you can expand those, and it'll show you step 5. There's or step 5. There's 8 portions to step 5. You got 7 of the 8 right. Step portion number 6 in step 5 is not correct. You look at that, and then you can see what you were supposed to do. You can look at what you wind up doing, and then you can make your changes. I'm just going to put it in here. This is my cell phone number, and this is my email address. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions regarding this, or any questions regarding any of the labs that you're trying to do on a Mac, and I can most certainly help you. I apologize, I have my camera over there, but I have my instructions over here, and I keep looking over here, but I want to talk to you. Just reach out to me. There's my cell phone number. You can text me. There's my email address. You can email me, and we can set up a time to talk. Or if you have a question, just text me the question, and I'll respond to you. Or if you email me the question, I'll respond accordingly. All right. Appreciate your time. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and good luck with this project. Thank you. Bye.